Let's get into it. Good morning, students. I'm Lauren Davis.
And I'm Michele.
This is Bravo Breakdowns, your podcast study guide for reality TV. Let's get into this week's episode of Orange County. So we start with Heather Dubrow in her natural habitat of Beverly Hills with her kids. Me and Michele texted in depth about how we just love watching Heather, even though she gives us no drama in her personal storylines.
Yeah.
We're just like, huh.
She just understands the assignment, and she always has. She knows exactly when to insert herself, exactly what to do, but she still stays above it all. But she's, the closest to Mother Teresa I've found on reality TV.
I agree. She actually is the first person who does the good mom storyline, and I'm like, I think maybe she is a good mom. And that's impressive.
I think she's actually a good mom.
Yeah, I think so
That's
too.
good.
That's good.
Yeah.
So it's a big trip for the ladies. They take the Dubrow PJ to Florida. PJ's private jet, of course.
The PJ. Okay. Do they have a private jet now, the Dubrows, or is this just one that she chartered?
I think
because they called it Heather's private jet. I was like, do they have a jet now? Do they have Kylie Jenner money? I don't know.
Do you think that they take the plane from Beverly Hills to Orange County? They land at
I think they take a chopper.
The chopper.
The chopper.
Chopping.
The chopping.
So all the housewives are in tow, including Alexis and Shannon. What could go wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Well, things go wrong immediately.
On a tiny plane
when they're in a tiny plane. Very dangerous place. And Alexis and John have made their red carpet debut on all of the gossip sites.
So funny that they had a red carpet debut. They're like Brad Pitt and Angelina from a million years ago when they
made their red carpet debut. It's so funny that their publicist is plugging them like this. It's like there's, their publicist would be like, maybe we don't make you seem this deluded on the gossip sites, but they're like, nope, let's say red carpet debut, first of many to come. It's crazy. And Shannon says under her breath before they board the flight, I see he's wearing the Ferragamo shoes I got him. The shoes that Johnny J is wearing are bought by Shannon in the first half of their relationship.
Bought by Shannon. That's a new segment that we're going to have.
Bought by Shannon.
Bought by Shannon.
Yep. And so it's like Emily and Gina kind of instigate it, and they're like, what about those Ferragamos?
Finally, they're doing something right.
Yes, they're definitely stirring the pot quite a bit this episode. Yes. Alexis and Shannon kind of snipe at each other a little bit, and then, we land safely. Because we can't go in an all-out bitch fight war, because we're saving that for the finale, and we don't want the plane to crash like Big Bopper style. Okay. So they land and they go to a ranch. They have daytime cocktails in the backyard. Shannon orders one. All the women judge her.
She says, I'm on a vacation. I'm going to have a vodka with a little bit of cranberry. And Gina, in her confessional, is like, I don't know if this is great optics. Also, I don't drink. But also, everyone drinks their own Gina all of the time. I actually don't think that Gina cares that people drink about her. I actually think that Gina's probably just concerned about Shannon's drinking, but doesn't want to say that.
Yeah. Oh, no, I think so, too. Well, I think Gina was like, it's easier to not drink when someone else is drinking or is not drinking, it's like, oh, we're both sober together, But I don't think it's easier for Shannon because Alexis is there. So
yeah. We also find out something.
Yes. So everyone talks shit about Shannon because she was posted on Instagram with a short cocktail glass at a mall bar, and she
took an Uber there.
She claims it's a cranberry Pellegrino, which I would buy, but the Uber is kind of the smoking gun in this, I would say.
And that it's in a small glass. I don't know. It seems like also a mall at the bar. It's like you don't really want to be seen because nobody goes to the mall.
Yeah.
But it is weird that
I do feel bad for her that anywhere she goes to drink, people are like, she's doing it. She's doing it.
Is that a Pellegrino? Yeah. Is that a Danny Pellegrino?
Oh my God. Yeah. We love him. Yeah. It's rough for Shannon.
Rough stuff.
But good that she's Ubering. Very good that she's Ubering.
Very good that she's Ubering. To drink water.
Who drink, sparkling water. So Heather and Alexis support their trans children by going
Mm.
to a group in Florida called Family Equality. The people they meet with on screen, the reps, are queer women of color. Tamara is also there. Heather does a champagne collaboration called Equality Vines. Like, honestly, this is the kind of plot I would think would be boring on other shows, but it's like, this is two housewives with trans children on such a conservative like franchise. This
Mm-hmm.
was like, I thought this was really great, and they still
Mm-hmm.
managed to make it dumb in Housewives by having like a champagne
Yeah.
tasting for trans children. I just I'm proud
You
proud of
know,
my
they
girls.
they need some, yeah, those kids need that.
Yeah, they need
Yeah. And
they
I
need the
was
bubbly.
reading about, I didn't realize Alexis had a trans son, and I was
Mhm.
reading about it. She actually talked about her trans son a few years ago before
Oh
she was
wow.
back on the show or anything. Yeah, and she said that initially it was really hard and she didn't accept it initially, but then she realized how happy her son was that they were being authentic, and it, really opened her eyes to a lot of different things. Because
Yeah.
of the season that we're going to go back and cover, we're still really in the thick of her being very conservative, very religious. So it is
And
nice to see the arc of Alexis. We do give her a lot of shit, but it is nice to see, like, as a mother, her embracing in a very public way her trans son. Give
yes,
her all of the flowers for that.
definitely. And in fact, like on the season we're covering, there is a like lesbian friend of
Yeah.
Fernanda, and Alexis says, like, behind her back in her talking head, she disapproves of the
Yeah.
fact that she got married. She
Yeah.
says it's not in the Bible.
Right.
Like, she says it to her face at the reunion, and Fernanda's like, "This is deeply hurting me," and Alexis is like, "Well,
Well,
okay."
well,
And
well,
now
that's a God thing.
Alexis officiates gay and lesbian
Yeah.
marriages. So we love, that
We
even
love
though
growth in
she
some
hasn't
ways.
grown in terms of her vocabulary or like,
The way she treats people.
yes, or like, yeah, self-awareness, she
Mm.
has in terms of like opening her heart. And that's beautiful.
Yeah. She's a good mom, I would say. She's a good
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah. So Jen gets back from divorce court. She's getting 6K a month
Which
to
doesn't
support
seem
her
like a
kids
lot of money. And
for
then
five
for
kids.
5 kids, and like in the there she's in the OC, and you
Yeah.
know, she used to
Yeah.
be rich, bitch. Like, give
Yeah.
her more money. Have you not seen her hair? Like, these roots won't cover themselves.
Exactly. These extensions won't sew themselves in.
Yeah. Ugh.
So yeah, Tamara, in typical Tamara fashion, says she's probably just gonna mooch off Ryan and not get a job. Housewives is a job, whatever. So then Gina and Shannon and Emily, they do a scent meditation in robes. Oh yeah, Katie's also there, but whatever.
Mm.
Shannon reveals that on was suing her for 75K, and then Shannon made an offer with her lawyer to pay him off to pay off the lawsuit. Johnny J
Yeah, she wanted to
rejected the
settle.
offer. Yep.
She wanted to settle. I think it was about half. She was going to just
Yeah.
pay up. But, it's a lot. It makes a lot more sense to settle and not have it drag out and pay these attorneys.
Yeah.
And no, Johnny
Nope.
J says, no.
Excuse me.
Or he doesn't, he whispers it to Alexis, and then Alexis dramatically tells everybody.
Yes. She's like, hey, I said settle, but he doesn't want to because
He
of
said,
something he knows. His
fuck
truth.
no.
Yeah.
I said, Johnny J, settle. And he said, fuck no. After what she's put me through, people in my community don't like me anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they don't now. This whole thing is so befuddling.
It's so dumb because it's like the money seems like it was a gift from her boyfriend, honestly,
Yes.
to pay for
Yes.
the surgery. It's like he wore those shoes to that premiere or whatever it was with Alexis. He didn't have to give those back. The shoes that Shannon bought him. It's like, I get that it was a significant sum of money. It was $75,000, but if there was an expectation that money was going to need to be reimbursed at some point, then before he gave her the money, then there should have been some sort of an agreement. Yeah. So this is just like, it just feels like I'm just trying to make Shannon look like shit to save face, but he's the one
who looks like shit.
He looks awful. Like,
I think
it should have never been a suit.
Yeah, I think it's becoming clear to me that, like, Jim Bellino, who, you know,
According to Jim.
according to Jim, has sued a lot of housewives, and Tamra, who knows how to cook
Yeah.
up storylines, they are kind of the architects of this, and Johnny J and Alexis are along for the ride and also, like, suffering the consequences, which is not to say they are not completely responsible.
Suffering greatly.
Yeah, but I do think
Listen,
that
I think he's equally as shit to Alexis, but in a very different way, where I think he's maybe love bombing her, but she is becoming his, like, obviously his mouthpiece, and he's not speaking for himself, and everything's being funneled through Alexis, and she's coming off like an asshole because I think because of him. I think also a little bit her. She likes being back on the show and everything like that. But I'd much rather see Alexis back on the show in a very different light, like the stuff that she's doing with her trans son, and that's really interesting. And it's
sad to see her once again being controlled by a
guy.
Yeah.
A really big asshole who really, the man says he doesn't want the fame. You would never date Alexis Bellino if you did it. You wouldn't be at the Quiet Woman.
No.
Why would you be at the Quiet Woman when your ex-girlfriend is like the most has like the most famous scene from that restaurant ever? You know?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be there.
You wouldn't be. It's much more likely, I think, that he's not trying to. It's never been about clearing his reputation.
Yeah.
It's been about he doesn't want to get a job. He wants to be a celebrity,
and he wants those Ferragamo shoes.
Yeah, exactly. He wants a.
He's gonna wear those to court when he's suing her. He's gonna walk in with his Ferragamo shoes.
Yeah, and then he'll be like, it'll be Alexis calling, this because not everyone's gonna get this, but it'll be like Alexis calling Shannon and being like, Mrs. Storms Bedore, you said that those were the Ferragamo shoes. You lied about me. Those weren't the Ferragamo shoes. They were actually Coles. Shoes. Pretty wild.
Pretty wild.
Too soon. So, okay. So, Emily and Gina are on to Johnny J, and they can't hold back this plot any longer. The storyline has to explode. This ticking time bomb. They tell Shannon, you should not countersuit. You should not go to court because guess what? He has this video of you backing over his daughter with the car or almost doing it. Or
running out. Yeah, and they didn't realize, was it Gina or one of them? They didn't realize, and air quotes, that she didn't know about the video because, you know, like they were like, but in the video, and then Shannon's like, you know, Shannon is broken. Okay, this woman is so not okay, and she's like, what video? You know.
Yeah, and so then they finally tell her
the one where you run over his kid or something. I don't remember what.
Yeah, I mean,
does that ring any bells?
It's kind of like I don't know. I feel like not been consistent on, like, sometimes they're like, well, she doesn't know, but we shouldn't tell her, and sometimes they're like, oh, we shouldn't remind her. You know, they're doing a little bit of clunky.
Yeah, the dance. Yeah,
but whatever. Emily explained, John is. It sounds like he's basically extorting you so that he doesn't reveal this life-ruining Ring camera footage. Shannon is shaking and breaking down, and Emily gives her legal advice, like, you can't put a price on your mental health. Just give him whatever he wants.
Yeah, and then that's when Shannon's like, I tried.
Yeah.
She's like, I tried settling.
Yeah.
And he declined it, which is so stupid. And then I've gone back and watched interviews that Shannon said. So at the time, she offered him half, right? So like around 30 grand. And then she said in a interview like a month or so ago, then she went back and offered everything. She offered $75,000, pay everything, and he declined it again, and it was adding to the suit for like pain and suffering or whatever bullshit. Like he's like wants more in damages from this woman.
Wow,
it's
I wonder.
So nasty. In the words of Nene Leakes, so nasty. So rude.
So it sounds like with the timeline, in this episode, she comes back and says, give him everything. And then he's about to like say no second time.
Yeah, and Alexis is defending this behavior from him, where she's like, he deserves it. And it's like, you just told him, Alexis, you just said that he should just settle and take the money. Like, why make it a thing? Because it also just like makes the women not like Alexis too, sort of. I don't
Yeah.
know. It is kind of weird. They're all like, Alexis, it's fine.
I do think
But
that
I think they're still like, but nobody seems to be liking John here.
yes. I mean, I do think that Alexis has this, bond with Heather over their trans children. And I think that obviously Alexis has this bond with
Right.
Tamara. She's, pushing story for her. So I
Mm-hmm.
do think it's looking stronger for Alexis coming back next season, which we talk about with Josh a little bit
I hope she
later in the episode.
leaves this man. I hope she
I
goes
hope
back
that
to Jimmy B.
at this point,
He
I
has
hope
a
so
real
too.
play. He has a job. It looks like
He's
it's
got
not
it
a like.
together.
He's got a place called Jimmy B's, which one day we need to do a deep dive on Jimmy B's. That it was
Oh,
called a different restaurant name after Alexis was with John Jansen and started calling him Johnny J. Her
yeah.
ex-husband Jim Bellino renamed and rebranded this restaurant and changed it to Jimmy B's. I don't
I
even think
just
it was on the name of the restaurant before. It was like something steakhouse.
yeah,
Now it's
again,
Jimmy B's Steak.
I so wanna talk to their PR person. I'm like, "Is there, like, an ideas person behind spearheading all of these, like, name changes and stuff? Or is this, like, all their brainchild?" It's all
Because
bizarre.
we never heard her ever call him Jimmy.
Mm-mm. Okay, so end of the episode, Shannon finally
Mm.
tells her side. She says, "I told the truth. I did pay for stuff. He wants everyone to think he's a good guy. I know the truth."
You will
This
all see the truth.
Yes, you will all see the truth. That night, I lost control of the car and I hit the corner, a planter, and I went unconscious and I woke up in the hospital. My good friend called me about 10 days after and said, "How many seconds did the accident happen after you backed out of the driveway?" I said, 3 to 5 seconds max. He said, "Well, I find it very strange that John didn't come running after you."
Mm-hmm.
And then Heather's like, "Well, do you think that John didn't hear the crash?" And then Shannon says, "I don't know." And then she sent a bloody, bruised photo directly after the crash to John around 12 a.m.
Mm.
He didn't respond till like 1:40 a.m.
Yeah.
and he said, "I'm going to bed."
He said, like, yeah, he responded about something else, but
Yeah, he
didn't
was like,
say anything about, like, are you okay after seeing the picture?
mhm,
And we do see the picture. Shannon, she shows Heather, because Heather is kind of like, how much does, Shannon really remember because she was so intoxicated and,
mhm.
but Shannon's really hurting here. Like, she's been going through a lot. I mean, just to publicly go through getting like a DUI and all of
Yes.
this stuff that's
Yeah.
happening, that's hard enough, to start filming the show right after. But she shows this very graphic picture of her, or like her whole face is
Mhm.
bloody,
Bleeding.
bleeding. And
Mhm.
Shannon, while telling this to Heather and showing Heather, Heather actually becomes she's very motherly to Shannon in this
Yes.
moment. I feel like she's trying to comfort her. She's also just horrified that, by the extent of Shannon's injury, but also the fact that John never acknowledged it.
Yeah, like this okay, so
It's
this
pretty
is makes
horrific.
I don't know. Okay, so the first thing is, yeah, it's crazy that John like let her drive, I think. Like, I recently had a situation like this with actually my fiance's mom, who is a widow who's dating in her silver years, and she's very beautiful and the men go crazy for her. And she's had like an ex-boyfriend show up drunk and at her house and she like did not let him drive. Like
Hmm.
Cam almost drove over to like stop him and stuff. Like, it's like when someone shows up drunk at your house,
Yeah,
like
that's scary.
that's the last thing you want to do is let them drive.
Yeah,
Like, it's like it's not your responsibility to stop them, but like kind of a
kind of,
little
especially if it's like
bit.
your partner at the time,
Right,
right?
right. But then my other thing is, so she says she hit the corner and blacked
Hmm.
out. So she was in a fugue state when she
State,
was
yeah.
walking Archie.
I
I
don't
mean,
know. She was clearly very intoxicated. I mean, I
yeah,
don't even know what her blood alcohol level was at this point. I don't even think it really matters. She wasn't well. Like, she is also
yeah,
probably just emotionally completely wrecked, which is why she
yeah.
was so intoxicated. Who knows what I mean, I don't know what the fight was that she got in with John. The
Mhm.
point is, it doesn't excuse the fact that she drove, but it also doesn't excuse the fact that he didn't stop her.
He's, like, absolving himself of
He
all
hasn't said, and he has
responsibility.
not
Yeah.
publicly said, and neither has Alexis. That means that he didn't do it. That, like, I tried stopping her. I tried calling her an Uber. Like,
Mhm.
do those things. And that's real shit. Like, that's
Yeah.
really shit. I would be horrified. It doesn't even matter how I feel about a person. I would never be like, I'm gonna let you drive in this state. Also, not just, like, how it could affect you, you could hit
Other
another
people.
person.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like
It's
so, like, it's almost like
scary.
he's
Like, what
partially
if something really
responsible.
bad happened?
His daughter, I mean, I guess she
He's
apparently almost hit
responsible.
her, yeah, his daughter, so he let first of all, he let Shannon drive, and then he let his daughter leave the maybe she was trying to stop her, maybe that's what I don't know. Release the footage. Let us
Then why didn't
decide for
somebody
ourselves.
say that?
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I don't know if I wanna see that footage. I don't know if I would
Yeah,
I don't know think it would make me feel good to see it.
yeah. I do wanna see her walking Archie.
Yeah.
I
At 1 in
do.
the morning
At
with
1
a
in the morning.
bloody nose. You're sick. You're
I
s
know.
dark
I'm a sicko.
fantasy.
Yeah, I'm twisted, y'all. I'm basically Harley Quinn. Okay, so that's the end of this
It ended on a
episode.
high note. No, it
I
ended
know.
on to be continued, dot,
To
dot, dot.
Yes, it's very much a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's like, what happened next? Oh, you got arrested. The girls who
Ugh.
get it, get it.
Mm,